I'm Jason Ballard, and I'm in grade 10 and going to Terry Fox in Port Coquitlam. And we just finished doing Quest at my school. And the way it started was about 4 or 5 months ago. I went to a church that was doing Quest, and I went there in the mindset saying that, you know what, I don't think this is going to work, because I've seen all sorts of different evangelistic tools for youth, and I don't like them all. So I went there, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, you know, in the mindset of my non-church friend, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work, because my friend could just come back and fire back at that. And then Phil Can would come on next segment and say exactly what I was thinking, and just saying that Christianity isn't all perfect, and that's what I liked about Quest. And that's when I brought it back to my prayer group, and we started praying about how God wanted to use us Quest in our school.
I thought it was one of those things that's like, let's all go on a road trip to California, and it never happens, but this thing actually happened.
I didn't understand how the principals and all them, you know, teachers and all that would let us do it, because, you know, it's like religion in the school. And
kind of at the same time I was juggling finding a sponsor, and I actually saw my vice principal, and I said, this is what I want to do. She's like, I don't really see a problem with it. I gotta view the videos first and that kind of thing. I'm like, okay, step by step, this is going good. And then that day after school, I actually called a guy, a teacher at my school that I knew was a Christian, and I called him, and he said he'd have a meeting with me. So the next day I had a meeting with him, and he said, sure, this will be awesome. And then he actually went ahead and got permission for me. I didn't have to deal with the principal anymore.
He was prepared to provide the information necessary to make it something that we could welcome into the school under an open door kind of policy.
That's just how it started. Kids were ready, and as it was coming around, we said, okay, we picked a date, and we said Monday, 3 weeks from now. So we started telling people word of mouth, handing out flyers. So first week came around, and I'm like thinking, okay, you know what? 30 people would be cool. That'd be cool if 30 people came. And I walk into that room, and it's almost 3 o'clock, and 3 o'clock is when we're gonna start, and kids are pouring in. I'm sitting there in awe of all the kids in my classroom, and we put on the video, and we start, and kids are watching, and they're like there was almost a pin drop could drop in the room. It was so cool, and it ended, and we gave out food, and from there we had a meeting with the kids from prayer, and we're like, okay, now we're gonna pray, because that's how it started, was with prayer, because God paved the way. And we said we prayed now, and we prayed for every kid in there that they'd come back. So as we poured on the next weeks, we found out that the choir kids couldn't come, so we said we'll start another quest for choir. We called it Choir Quest.
I was just really surprised at how many people actually were interested in this kind of stuff, and like kept coming to it. So yeah, it was amazing.
Every day I would hear something new. This girl on MSN would say this happened, or this happened, and I'm hearing all these stories about how they've been affected by Quest already, and I get to bring it back to the prayer group, and they're excited, and their faith is arising because God's answers, and just even the Christians in the room are getting affected by Quest.
From the beginning, my church was supporting me. They were all excited. They never came to the Quest, but they knew about it. I'd come and I'd give them reports every week, and they were just so happy.
And then 7th week came around, and just before the 7th week, we're praying about what we should do, and brought it to prayer group, and we came to a decision that we're gonna pray with them at the end and offer them a chance to ask Jesus into their heart. And so I went up there after the 7th one ended, and I'm like, first step to walking with Jesus is asking for forgiveness. And so I prayed, and kids prayed after that, and then right after that, just kids started coming talking. 15 minutes I talked with one person, 10 minutes with another, just these conversations that I had to have. And one girl said, you know what, I didn't pray your prayer, but I prayed my own prayer. And it was cool because, you know what, it wasn't one big everyone became a Christian fest. You know, some kids did. Kids said they prayed with me, about 6 or 7 for sure, maybe, and then at the choir quest another 3 or 4, right, which was awesome. But kids just, these seeds planted in all these kids, and I'm building relationships with them, I'm talking with them, and it's just awesome what's happened so far.
It's touched lots of people, even in the smallest of ways. It made everybody think.
Sometimes when I've got nothing to do, I'm sitting at my house, I'm wondering, is Christianity the thing for me? Is this a step I should take in my life?
And at the end, I have a whole new meaning on God.
And if I could say I learned one thing from Quest, is that there's always people that want to stand up on the cafeterias and preach to their kids. And if God tells someone to stand up and preach, I say go ahead and preach. But the thing is, I'm learning that it's not just faces you're talking to. It's like kids with problems, and girls with story, and guys with stories that say, this is why I don't believe in God. Not just because I don't feel like it, because he hurt me, or I feel like God hurt me. And so I'm learning that this is like, I'm growing relationships with these people, and I'm talking to people outside now. And
I know like there's so much hurt and pain in the school and everything, and people are going through such confusing, tough times. They come there and they feel like free to speak their mind and everything.
Like when I first started coming here, we could not do Quest. There's no way. It's like I could see how like little faith there was in school, and how much more there's now. Like I can see so much more light in the school in the darkness.
It was good. It was so good.
And we want to do more. We want to run Quest again, and we're just dreaming big, and we're praying big, and we're asking for big things from God.